If you and your student are starting the admissions process, there is one strategy that is often overlooked, and it may even help tilt the scales in their favor: demonstrated interest. In this video, we are breaking down exactly what demonstrated interest is, why colleges care, and how your student can show it in a way that can help improve their chances of acceptance. Now, if you know anything about the scholarship system, we are all about getting more money, free money to pay for college, and this can help potentially with that as well. So whether your child is shooting for a highly selective school or maybe a private college, you don't want to miss this video. Now make sure you hit subscribe, because every week we have a new strategy to help your family work towards that debt-free degree. Hey there, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System, where we help families overwhelmed by the cost of college secure scholarships to help their student avoid student loan debt and graduate debt-free. So scholarships are our bread and butter. We've helped families secure over $15 million to date. Now, just a quick note, this is geared towards U.S. citizens and permanent residents. We are not familiar with the process for international students. So let's dive into demonstrated interest and why we need to think about it. So demonstrated interest is how a college knows that your student genuinely cares about their school. It's especially important at schools that track their students, their applicants' engagement to gauge whether or not they want to extend an offer. This matters because a school wants to increase their yield, which is a measurement of how many students actually accept compared to how many they've offered out. So how many enroll versus how many they say yes to. So they want to make sure that if they're giving a yes, that student is going to say yes back. Of course, a student that demonstrates strong interest is more likely to attend their school and therefore increase their yield. Now, why do they care about yield? Why not just give everyone an offer and whoever enrolls, enrolls? Well, the higher yield, the higher yes to yes ratio, if you will, means that they have really perfected who the students they need are, the ones that are passionate about their school, which means a better fit, which means better engagement, more engaged student body. Students who take initiative are more prepared and more invested in that institution. Also, this can be a more efficient use of their resources. If a student is interested, then they can offer interviews, scholarships, merit aid to the ones that they know really want to attend their institution. Now, not all colleges use this, but many private schools and public institutions do. It's rarely the deciding factor, but it can certainly help tip the scale in your student's favor. So how can a student show demonstrated interest? There are several ways. First is one that we love. It's campus visits, whether it's in person or virtual. This is important anyway, because you don't want your student to go to a school never having seen it, find out they don't like it, and then we have to transfer, lose credits, lose money. We don't want to go through that if we don't have to. So we want to try to get this right from the beginning, and college visits do help that. But also, this is a way of indicating our interest in a school. Secondly, our email opens and clicks. So believe it or not, colleges do track engagement through email. If a student is not reading any of the emails from that school, then they're probably not very engaged. So you want to try to encourage your student to read all of their emails, open it, click through the links, and even respond if that makes sense for that email. Third could be attending college fairs or info sessions. So if they are at a local college fair, we want to go up to that booth, have your student talk to them, meet in person. They may even have online college fairs, but meeting admissions reps and getting on their radar could be a great way to help. Next could be following and engaging with them on social media. So these days, most institutions now know they've got to be online as well. And so a lot of schools have pages and profiles, so we can engage there. That might be on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it. The next one could be requesting information and joining their mailing list. So whenever a student goes to a school's website, they can have a request info form, and that is pretty much the first way that a school will track them and get their email, and then they can get the emails and stay engaged, so on, so on. The next way to show demonstrated interest is to write a strong why us essay. So many applications will include a prompt that says, why do you want to attend this school? Now, I have an entire playlist all about essay writing, but a strong, thoughtful, memorable essay here can really help a student stand out and get them some brownie points in the engagement area. The next one could be reaching out to admissions counselors. So maybe they don't have a college fair, but we can actually still contact the admissions office. A well-worded professional email is definitely something that can make a strong impression. This should not be coming from mom and dad. You want your student to be doing this and trying to own as much of the process. You can certainly be guiding it. In fact, in the scholarship system, most of our parents are the ones going through it and kind of guiding their students. But that said, we absolutely want to make sure that our students owning this and the communication's coming through them. And the last pro action that we could do here would be early decision or early action. So this is when we apply early. It's a powerful sign of commitment and interest. So this is where colleges have different deadlines, and the earlier, the more serious we are typically about that school. Now we want to make sure that if any of them are binding, then we only want to do that if we are 100% certain our student wants to go there. I'm not necessarily a fan of this because I believe in follow the money. So I don't think that I would say I will come to your institution no matter what, even without seeing a financial aid package. For me, I just think that a debt-free degree is way more worth it than a name on a diploma, for example, in most cases anyway. So I'd just be careful with the binding. But that said, applying early does show an extra interest in it. Now let's go ahead and talk about what demonstrated interest is not. It is not bragging or overloading colleges with communication. It is not a replacement for strong academics, test scores, extracurricular activities, part-time jobs. So we still want your student to be a marketable candidate for being admitted. Showing interest in the school will not make up for lacking that. So we still need that, but this is kind of the cherry on top. And the next thing is demonstrated interest does not, unless we choose this kind, but it does not mean your child has to commit. So they are they want to demonstrate that they are thoughtfully exploring their options. That's what we want out of this. It does not mean, hey, you give us a spot, we are 100% there. But it does ideally show, hey, I'm very engaged with your school. I'm very interested. And that's what you want your student to show them. Now, one great thing is that there is a data set, the common data set, College Vine as well, where you can actually see what schools track and what schools weigh for the admissions process. So not all schools will weigh this, especially say Ivy Leagues, where they get tons of engagement from so many students because everyone wants to go there. So they really can't make that a huge component of whether or not they're going to admit the students. They think more of, we want to have the best of the best students in the class. So this isn't necessarily required for each school or even considered for each school, but you can look it up to see if it's considered. Now, just very quickly, parents, what can you do to help your student here? Encourage exploration early. So help them look beyond rankings or beyond the schools that all their friends are going to and explore what makes each school unique in their own right. So having those conversations with your student and getting them to do that kind of research will naturally get them engaged with ones they're interested in. The next is to plan campus visits or even virtual tours, but that will be something that could be even a fun activity, a fun family activity, but those visits can go a long way. Another one is to help them stay organized. Maybe keeping a spreadsheet or a checklist or some kind of online software for project management like Asana, totally free, but a way to keep track of all the deadlines, who we've contacted, where we've engaged. So helping them build a system to really track that can help. And lastly, resist the urge to take over. Colleges want to see that their students are the ones showing interest and taking initiative. They do not want helicopter parents that are doing everything for their student. I know it's so hard. And if they don't do it well, then you're going to have to sit back and just, okay, well, if that's what you want to do, but that said, it will help them way more in the long run. And if they do it well, it will really benefit them. All right, so that said, demonstrated interest, this is fantastic for universities. A lot of them consider it, and it's a great way for students to learn more about where they're going to school anyway. Now, don't forget that when we are going through the admissions process, we need to be doing the scholarship process, and that's our bread and butter. So I have a free webinar for you. Just go to thescholarshipsystem.com/free webinar. You can register there, or you can click on this video, and we will have the link in the description. We have the link in the description of this video as well. But attend that free training where I cover where to find legitimate scholarships beyond the universities, but you can use a lot of these tips for that, okay? And lastly, comment below, what school is your student showing interest in? We'd love to see what schools are top of the list for your family. All right, so there you go. Demonstrated interest. It's not a magic solution, but it is a smart strategy, especially when your student is applying to schools where they need an edge in admissions. It will not get them through the door, but it can slightly tilt the scales in their favor. So why not? All right, encourage them to start building this, help them with the tips that I shared, and make sure you hit subscribe because every week we have a new video for you guys. All right, I'll see you in the next one.